Hello, listeners, and welcome to episode 13 of Push2 A Plat Level Cap, the only show interested in raising your level and our own. As always, I am joined by the wonderful, the spamaholic, the leaderboard crusher on the PlayStation, CoolKidJoe. How are you today, sir?
We're doing great, CJ. How are you, sir?
Look, I am good, listeners. You know, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say I'm recharged after taking a week off because that would just be a lie. Because, you know, Joe, as you know, I've been trapped in this world of Persona, so I've learned how to stop loving life, I suppose. But no, look, it's been okay. I can't wait for that game to be finished. The ironic thing, listeners, is that I thought it was about 70 to 80 hours. But another person I know has been playing it at the same time. They just finished it. They said it took them 130 hours. So there seems much time still to be had in that game, which is slowing me down. But look, you know, we're gonna talk about that game very shortly on the main show in the coming weeks with a bit of a specialist. And you know, if it's a game that you're not particularly interested in playing yourself, then I would highly recommend checking that episode out. We're going to make it very light spoilers or spoiler free, even just more the overarching story and the mechanics and stuff like that. So in effect, you could get an experience of playing the game, Joe, without ever playing it, which I know appeals to you for these longer games.
Yeah, that's one that I definitely would like to play. Also, shout out to my boy Sal. That is his first platinum trophy.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that is a big platinum. That's congratulations, Mr. Sal. That's I'm not going to say it's a hard platinum. I mean, depending on what difficulty you play on it, it can be a hard platinum, but it's a massive one either way, whatever difficulty you play on. So well done, sir. But look, let's get to your account, Joe, because it's always in the upright position. It's always surging forward. What are you up to this week?
Yeah, so we had a little bit of a slow week this week, but
Oh,
we're up to um we're up to level 62, 359 plats, which is up 10 from last recording. 405th in the US and 2195 worldwide.
yeah, I don't know. 10 plats in 1 week is not that slow. I mean, slow for you perhaps, but that's still pretty good effort. I think all up.
Yeah, I'm about like 2 minutes away from like the 360th one. I stopped playing the Rata Plata. Yeah, I stopped playing the Rata Plata of the week to record this.
Yeah,
So
so it's really 11. It's not bad at all then.
yeah,
And look, listeners, I'm on level 174, 1068 plats, 63rd in the world. Joe, I've peaked. I've peaked at 62nd. It was a fantastic experience, listeners. You know, peaking in your late 30s is something to be proud of. I think if you can last that long. So I was happy, and of course I lost my spot to the wonderful Italian huntress Lux. Which is just it's just lovely. It's wonderful. So now I've got to return after Persona Royal and try and reclaim it. But she's very competitive, so we'll have to see if I can do that. But it's all in good fun. Now, speaking of, we're going to get into the games and sales and all this stuff in a second, Joe. But we're out here to build our score, build our level. You're doing a great job of it, and we're actually a little behind the scenes. So we're just going through Joe's trophy card earlier, and there's so many S's. It's unusual for me to see all these completed games, but we may have found a VN that he forgot about or something, but who cares about that? More importantly, what we found here, and you need to explain yourself here, sir, is we found that he has Little Adventure on the Prairie, as everyone knows, about a 2 to 3 minute game. He has it half complete from months ago. Now, what's going on, sir? What are you doing?
yeah. I played that game. It sucks. So
So you're not going to do the last 3 minutes?
I mean I don't know. I might go back to it now that you're breaking my balls about it, but I didn't realize it was that. Like I just like booted it up like a long time ago, and I was just like, this feels like it feels like an internet flash game, and it's just garbage.
Yes, but it's quick garbage. I mean, we almost need to start a movement. Maybe in the Discord, somebody can get up you to finish that, and you post it so that we know you've done it. Because that's easy. That's low hanging fruit you've left out there. You should you should clean that up, I think. But look, let's move in now. You've done a wonderful job this week, Joe, because I'm a little bit lax. You've put all this together, which I really do appreciate. Now, you've trolled through the essential sale. What did you find here?
Yeah, there's a lot of hidden gem or the hidden gem sale. Yeah, I found some pretty decent games in there. Lara Croft's Go is pretty easy. Minute is a great game if you've if you haven't played it. It's kind of like a Legend of Zelda kind of thing, but you only have 60 seconds in between lives. When your time runs out, you die, and then you have to go over, but your progress that you've made in game still saves. So that's like a fun little game. It's, I think, about an hour and a half. Guns, Gore, and Cannoli 2, which I have the 1000 gamer score on Xbox, 4 stacks on the PS4, I believe. Fantastic game. Someone co-op it with me.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
Is it fun in co-op? I only play it single, but I imagine it would be a lot of fun in co-op.
Yeah, no, me and my buddy Chad, who I co-op everything with on the Xbox or procrastinate for about 4 years to do stuff. We co-opted it. We had a lot of fun with it.
Okay.
We're both big fans of that game. Yeah, we've been kind of talking about doing like Borderlands pre-sequel on the 360 since it came out, and we still haven't done it yet. And we both own it on Xbox One as well. So procrastinating. We'll get to it eventually.
Can I ask, is that online co-op or is it only local co-op for gun?
No, it's online co-op.
And do both people earn the achievements if you're in co-op, or is it only the host?
No, it's both people.
Oh, that's
Um,
fantastic. Yeah.
yeah, no, we ran through the game, and then like afterwards or whatever, we split up and then kind of did like the grindy stuff or whatever, like get like blow up this many cars, kill this many enemy with grenades,
Mm,
whatever. We did that by ourselves so we wouldn't take kills from each other and stuff like that.
yeah.
Because if you're doing that in co-op or whatever, it's like one person's getting the grenade kills and you're just wasting everybody's time. The Count Lucaner is a couple hours long. I believe that has a Europe and a Vita stack as well. The Long Reach.
Just before you go on, because I know Patreon producer Zador, when he listens, or if he listens, he'll grind his teeth now. The Count Lucanor, just to save us both the DM message that's coming there. Sorry about that. Carry on.
My humblest apologies, good sir.
Yes. I'm always apologizing, so it's nice to share that around.
Okay. The Long Reach, Blackwood Crossing, Life is Strange, and Life is Strange Before the Storm. Those I really, really enjoyed the first time I played them, and
Mm.
now like I played them on the 360 and the Xbox One right before like Episode 5 came out, and I'm playing it again on the PS4. I think I'm in the third or fourth episode. I'm not 100% sure on that,
Yeah.
but it doesn't have the same feel as it did, and I think it really bothers me that that they call all the characters by their first and last names, because that's not a thing that we do. That's not how normal people talk.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's a good choice though. I like. It's funny that Life is Strange Before the Storm. When I started it, I didn't like it at all, and I quite liked the first one. And the reason I didn't like it is there's so much iconography in that game. I mean, without spoiling it or whatever, there's an affair early on with the father or whatever, and literally, I think the episode ends with a burning bush that the tree is on fire, and it was just too much of a stretch for me. But then as it went on, I quite liked it, and I know not everybody does, but I did quite like it. So it's definitely worth playing, especially on sale.
for those of you that haven't played it, I won't spoil it, but like there's a pretty big plot like with the father at from the first game, because this
Mm.
Before the Storm is obviously a prequel. So I'm playing it and I'm like, I know this happens with him. When is it gonna happen? And then it just all hits you all at once, and I'm like, oh. Candle, the Power of the Flame. Degrees of Separation is a $20 game usually. That one's on sale for 3. That one's been really cheap, pretty good amount of times.
Yeah, I'll jump in there too before you go. And that's a really good point because it's very rarely on sale, that one. And also the candle, the power of the flame. There is a fantastic full text walkthrough on true trophies or true achievements. I think it's actually maybe true achievements, and it's definitely worth using that one there. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Danger Zone 2. I didn't see the first one on there. That one could also be very well on sale. Have you played that at all?
I played the first one. I actually picked the second one up in a sale. The sale, yes, they're actually selling them as a bundle, and I think the bundle might be on sale too if you don't have one or two. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Those games are really fun. You just crash a car and just try and cause as much damage as you can. It's awesome.
Yes, yeah, yeah, definitely.
Um, Last Day of June, which I have been meaning to play.
Excellent.
Uh, this one's a little bit more challenging, but this is one of my favorite indie games. This is Little Nightmares. You have to beat the game, I think, under an hour or under 2 hours without dying.
That's a little challenging.
Yeah, the window that it gives you is really, really small, and I think you can pause it. Maca has a really good guide on how to do it as well. I didn't do it on the Xbox One. I got kind of lazy. There's also 3 DLC packs as well. I think that game has like 2,200 gamer score too, which is a lot for like an indie game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think on the PlayStation, because there's no plat there, as you say, it's 100% game. But I think with the DLC packs, it adds up close to a plat score. And I mean, if you are going to try that timing run, they actually on the PlayStation at least they use a save manipulate with uploading and downloading the save if you need to, if you die or for timing. So there are workarounds, but still quite difficult, I believe.
But that game is great. I actually have the physical collector's edition of it with like the little statue of the boy in the raincoat, which is awesome.
Oh, that is fantastic.
Mosaic, which I think you brought up the other day to me, can be turboed.
Yes, that's only good if you have a turbo. I think we've talked about that in a previous episode, so go back and listen if you're interested. But I'd only recommend that with the turbo controller for sure.
Sea of Solitude, which is from that EA indie team. I don't, what is there, EA Play or something like that program where they fund indie studios where they give them creative control, where it made like the way or a way out and Fee and Unravel.
Yeah, yeah. This game, unfortunately, this game went a little bit under the radar. I think there are two stacks on the PlayStation's PS4, the NA and the EU stack. Both have platinums. Both can be done with a guide in around 2 to 3 hours. It's not a bad idea to use a video guide maybe for the collectibles. You can go back. I think you can go back and clean up, but there may actually no. I don't think there is a chapter select in this. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it's a really dark game. It's fantastic and an easy plat as well.
I bought it on the Xbox One. I have not committed to it on the PS4 yet. I think I'm just waiting for it
Yeah.
to drop in price because I feel like this holiday I'll be able to pick it up for like $5. It's 10 right now. I've just been kind of cheap.
Yeah, look, I mean, it hasn't been out for that long. It came out towards the end of last year, I want to say, or it could have even been earlier this year. So I'm sure it will be on deeper sales in the future. Mm.
Yeah, especially since like Fee is always on sale for like $4 too.
Mm. Mm.
Oh, Solo Islands of the Heart, Stranger Things 3, which I don't know if you played that, but I had a lot of fun with that game. That one's only $5. And these next couple are a little bit more expensive. Like Subnautica was, I believe, $17.99. You could do that game in about an hour with like console commands.
Yes.
Ice Age, Scrats, Nutty Adventure, Race with Ryan, and Hotel Transylvania. Hotel Transylvania is also in PS Now if you want to not spend the $26 that it costs, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. It's a good list. I haven't really gone through the sale there, but I'm just going to piggyback off your work there and throw out, if there are, because that's a lot there to pick up at this time, listeners. But I would, I mean, they're all great as Joe has said, but in particular, I'm not sure the price on Race with Ryan. That's about a 3 to 4 hour kart racer. It's incredibly easy. Again, this is the first time I've seen it on sale. So if it's a good price, that could be one to pick up. The Solo Islands of the Heart is a fantastic game as well. I'd suggest using a guide from the beginning because there is no chapter select and there are missables. Mosaic is awesome, as we said, if you have a turbo controller as well, and the Life is Strange. So that's great, Joe. You've done there's some solid picks there. It's excellent.
I try my best.
Yes, yeah. Plenty of fun to be had there. Now, why don't we move on to actual games that we're going to throw out today for the score? Do you want to start us off? You have a gem here to start us off with.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with the Gardens Between, which is a 1 to 2 hour completion. It's an Xbox Game Pass. It's also on PS4 and has a platinum trophy. It's a side-scrolling puzzle game where you go back and forth in time. It kind of looks like a platformer, but you don't move with the triggers, and your character will automatically move. So if you hold down the right trigger, he and she will move forward, and you can like kind of like trigger a puzzle or like click something and then like move a part of the level and then go back or whatever with the left trigger and kind of like progress forward and backward in time to get through the level, and the levels kind of like spin around in a circle as you go up and down it to get to the end. It's actually a really cool game. It's definitely very different, which is what I really enjoyed about it.
It is a fantastic game. The fact that it's on Game Pass as well. I mean, you can't make a mistake there with that one. I like it. the first one that I'll throw out for your listeners, and I'll throw it out with a preface, of course, is the new FMV by Sam Barlow, the creator of Her Story. It's called Telling Lies. They're in no way related, but if you played Her Story, you'll be familiar with his format. If you're not, his format is that he likes to create this sort of an internet search engine, if you like, and you search terms or keywords to bring up a series of videos. There are 169 videos available to find in this game, with a bonus one video that you will require, the final video, to make 170, which is unlocked when you have all 169. So, as I said, I'll preface it with a warning. There's two ways to play this game. You can choose not to play it. So we'll just briefly touch on that first, and therefore it becomes like a V and a skip. Obviously, you'd have no idea about the story. If you're doing that, there's a fantastic guide now on PSN profiles. There is also a Steam achievement guide and also an Xbox achievement guide, I believe, on True Achievements. Some of them have different terms. I can't speak to the others, but I know that the one on profiles does work, as I tried this on the second stack. Now, there is some duplication of terms as well, so you could get away with less, but until someone works that out, it's probably safer just to enter each one. All you do is you enter the terms and you watch the videos. You can just watch 1 second of the video if you like, and then therefore this would turn this plat into about 40 minutes or so. Of course, if you don't play it that way, and I would recommend, if you have an interest in this series or this style of game, not to play it that way to start with, at least, then it becomes a very challenging FMV, not like a normal pick your choice, because you obviously need to listen. It's one-sided conversations. You need to listen for keywords yourself, names and things, and slowly expand the network out. Things to be careful with this game: when you get towards the end, I think the last main story trophy, while you're still looking for videos, which can pop anywhere from around 130 to 160 videos watched. When you get to this one, it'll give you the option to upload the videos. Now, you don't have to do it. You can keep searching, but I highly recommend you do, because if you don't upload the videos before you get to 169, you will lock yourself out of the last video, therefore locking yourself out of the trophy. And my understanding is you'd have to play the whole game again. So when you get that option to upload, and of course you can upload any time after that as well, it becomes very obvious how to do that. I would recommend doing that. Don't put all the search terms in and then upload, or you could have some problems there. As far as miscellaneous trophies, you have a trophy for entering the password that you'll see on the top right of the screen. There's a Wi-Fi networks you can choose, just entering the password 3 times incorrectly. And then there's a Bizarre Joe mini game involving solitaire, where you need to play solitaire about 20 times. But again, you don't have to play it. You can just keep shuffling the deck. You do have to complete the solitaire game once. The challenge in the game becomes, it's one draw solitaire. So technically, you should be able to finish every time. The challenge comes in that the deck is missing. One of the decks is missing a king. So therefore, it's 1 card short. You have to finish the game to show that it's 1 card short, and that unlocks the trophy. So look, the first time I did it, it took about 9 or 10 goes. The second time I did it, I got a second go. So it's obviously RNG, depending on your knowledge of the game, but also the draw of the cards. And then there's some trophies for bookmarking 20 times, and you can bookmark a video as you watch it every second, so you could get that quite quickly. Trophy for tagging. It's a little confusing, the tagging. The overall UI is a little confusing, but you can back out into like the general search and go to bookmarks, and then from bookmarks you can tag. You need to tag 10 times, so write 10 different numbers or words in. But look, other than that, it is a very simple trophy list. I suppose the only true missable then being the final video if you don't upload. If you are interested in reading, it's the story of FBI agents, if you like, that become sort of compromised in their personal relationships as well. So it's a very interesting game, Joe. I highly recommend it. What do you have next for us?
You went all out on that one. No, it's fine or whatever.
Yes.
This is a game that I wanted to play, and hearing more about it makes me interested in it. I've just been cheap because I don't know if I want to buy it on Xbox or PS4. Very undecided.
Yeah. I do apologize. I did go a bit all out on it there, but we didn't in this week's main episode. If you listen to this week's main episode, we didn't really touch on it, or I didn't really get a chance. The conversation went in a different direction, so I've covered myself there instead, I think. What do you have next?
So this is a game that not a lot of people like, but I was a big fan of it, and it's actually Murdered Soul Suspect. It's on sale all of the time for like $2. So you should probably go pick it up. It's about a police detective who is investigating a murder, and he is actually murdered while on the job, and you play as him as a ghost, and Solve Your Own Murder, which was very different. I was a big fan of it. I paid $60 for it when it came out, and I played it, and I was not disappointed. A lot of people were, and actually Square Enix was pretty disappointed because they shut down the studio in like 4 days after the game released.
That is a shame. I didn't know that until you mentioned that earlier. Yeah,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. Devs, I loved your game. Great work. I was a big fan of it. It is there is a point of no return in it. So be a little bit careful when you are doing your collectibles. They make pretty good note of where it is in the guide. There's also some pretty good video walkthroughs on where to get them. I believe I used Macca's. It's also been a very long time since I played it because I played both games around launch.
Yeah, perfect. There are a lot of collectibles in that game too, aren't there?
Yes.
Yes, yeah, there definitely are. So you will need that video walkthrough. That's good. And then look, the last, I'm just going to tie two together because they're incredibly short, is the Task Force Campus. This is the new offering from East Asia Soft. So if you think Red Death, but up the frustration levels by maybe 20, then you're pretty close to what this is. The majority of the game is fine. The first boss is way, I don't know, the leveling it's very strange. The first boss should probably be the last boss in the way that it works. It's kind of difficult. Look, the problem with it is it becomes a bullet hell, the first boss, but it's very cheap. It's very difficult to see the patterns. I mean, if you're going to do all four stacks, you'll get there and you'll see it. My only tip would be, and I picked this up from a few videos, is when you get hit, you have a shield for about 4 seconds around you, which makes you, invulnerable or invincible, I suppose. So when that happens, you really want to just attacking the boss as much as you possibly can. This is particularly in the first wave. The first wave is the hardest to see where to avoid being hit in the bullet hell situation. So do that for about 3 seconds or so, then immediately move to the top sort of left of the screen. And this will actually give you time, if you stop shooting, to recharge your health. The second and third wave are not too bad. They're just small movements to the left and right, but you really can only be hit 3 times before you die if you're not recharging. And of course, you can't recharge with the shield up, and it takes a few seconds for the recharge to start. So that's potentially frustrating, but one of the great things, Joe, is like most of these games, there is a trophy for killing 3 bosses, but you can just keep killing the first boss each time. It's just fine. The only difficult trophies are surviving 4 minutes, which means you obviously have to survive, maybe 2 minutes after killing the first boss, but not as far as the second boss. And hitting 250,000. The only tip I have for this, because there is a lot of randomness, there's these little bonus. They look like little, I don't know, they call them cocos, but they look like little dragons or something. These are random, so you can get a lot of these in a playthrough. You can get, very little. The more of these you get, the easier getting the 250 is going to be. So again, if you get a fair way but you don't make 250, just start again because it's random. You might end up with 30, these cocos in one game. And when you do get all these cocos, Joe, when you get 100,000 points, it gives you an extra little ship beside you, which also makes it easier. But again, that's random if you're going to get that many points before the boss or not. And then the other one I'll throw out here is Arcade Spirits. So this is a visual novel from Fiction Factory Games, published by the renowned Eastern publisher P Cube. There is a guide available on Knopf's Guides. It is written in the form of a skip guide. They've listed at 15 to 18 hours. Of course, that would be the reading time. Now, whether it's worth reading or not is up to you. It's an interesting story. It's rated a 9 out of 10 on Steam, so you can take that however you like, I suppose, but it can be skipped if that so interests you in an hour and a half following their number choices. So that's basically it. Last thing I'll throw out is that I have been sent a code from Blowfish Studios again, and I thank them for that. We're building a good relationship, of Infinite Beyond the Mind, developed by Emily Okoyo. Now, this game, it's not easy by any stretch. It requires 3 playthroughs, easy, medium, and hard. It is in a retro art style. It has absolutely fantastic music in it, fantastic electronic bit tone music. So for that alone, I think it's worth playing. Now, there is apparently some glitches for level skip, and potentially, a God mode glitch as well. So as more information comes out on that, I hope to bring that game to you in the next week or two, if it does become short. Otherwise, we'll talk about it on the main show more in depth. So, Joe, that brings us to one of your favorite games of all time, I know, the Radar Platter of the Week, Rig 2, developed by PX Link. How did you find this week's offering?
So I had some issues playing it. I feel like the controls are a little bit more sensitive than the first game, which I didn't have any problems with. I also played this with the hiccups earlier today, and it was kind of challenging and frustrating. So like, yeah, this is like one where you gotta kind of like focus and like pay attention, and like otherwise, like if you breathe wrong on a set of spikes, you will die. Which, yeah, super
Mm.
sensitive and super touchy or whatever. It's like you might not even look like you get to the spikes or whatever, and it's just like it like touches your like big toe and you're just dead. I am actually you need to play 29 of the levels for the plat. I'm actually on level 28 now, so it's pretty easy. It was kind of frustrating obviously because I couldn't focus cuz I'm trying to like time my jumps and stuff like that, and I'm just like like that.
I
So
like it.
yeah, so some of it was a little frustrating, and I was kind of agitated with it. I'm sure the second time I play it on the Vita or the North American stack, I will have a significantly much easier time because hopefully I won't have that issue.
Well, you can let me know. I don't plan on playing it on the Vita anytime soon, so you can tell me how it holds up. But I think from the first read, I don't think there were any issues, lag or anything. So it should, or any more than the PS4, I suppose. So it should be fine. As Joe sort of alluded to, you only need to complete 29 of the 52 levels for the plats. There's 3 secret rooms, 6 characters or miscellaneous trophies. You don't really need a guide for this game because they're easy to find, the levels that, but you can if you want. There is a chapter select as well, and of course the same as the first read, it's probably advantageous to turn off the shake in the settings, especially if you've got the hiccups as well, Joe, because could you imagine the hiccups and the shake going in that game at the same time?
No.
It'd be it would be something else. So look, I enjoyed it. I thought overall it was easier than the first read, only probably because it was shorter. I think some of the timing stuff is a little bit fairer this time around as well. There's less in the first game. There were more difficult obstacles towards the end of the final cube or getting to the final door. This time they seem to have flattened that curve a little bit, ironically. So I think it's overall it's not too bad, easily done within an hour or so, and there are 4 stacks at time of coming. So I'm sure there will be 6 later on. So Joe, that's a lot of information there. There's tons to be playing. Is there anything that interests you in the next week to waste your money on?
Not at the moment. In 2 weeks, I'm looking forward to Saints Row 3 remastered.
Yes.
I'm not sure if I'm looking forward to it at $40, but
Oh, that's the price. It's already.
yeah.
So for me, listeners, there's not a lot either. I've been on the fence with the Sakura Wars for some time. The price is insanely ridiculous for some reason, digitally and also physically as well. I think, although it is a Japanese game, a Muso game, it does interest me, but I'm not sure it interests me enough at this stage. I might just be, Stockholm with Persona 5 at the moment and thinking that I want to play anything, I suppose. Things that I would recommend to look out for perhaps is this Emma Lost in Memories. Now, this is on the store. It dropped as of Friday. This has a fantastic piano soundtrack. If for no other reason, this could be the reason to buy it. It is a 2D puzzle platform game. Now, I haven't played it yet, so I can't talk to how difficult it is. It's something to consider that it could be challenging. Early on, the trophy percentages are low, but that doesn't necessarily mean either way. It also is about $10 or so it's a reasonable price. And then I think maybe the only other thing, Joe, that interests me here is this Patata game here that has come from something new. I believe this comes next week. Now I understand there's a guide, Joe. We're going to look into this because one of us might actually play this week. I think, hopefully you, not me. And it's supposed to be a couple of hour plat as well. I believe there's an achievement guide already, a video guide for Xbox. So we'll see.
Couple hours.
Yeah, apparently, but we'll check that for sure before we push that. But
Sounds like a couple hours too long.
yeah, yes. Well, that's what I said. I hope you were going to play it. So we may need to. You know what I was thinking, Joe? Like we might need to recruit somebody that'll play games over 3 hours for us, just to tell us what they're like. Because neither of us want to do it at this time. So we'll have to consider that in the future. If that interests you.
No, I played a little bit of a lengthier game the other day, like in between work or whatever. I
Yeah.
mean, I did. Was it crosswords by Pogi? Is or no? What's the one that take it? Word Sweeper. Word Sweeper.
Oh yes.
That one takes a little bit
And you
longer
can do
than
the
the
whole
regular
thing.
ones of those. Yeah, no. I was like, I was using one of Nope's guides, which they have a very excellent guide for their collection of Lightwood games. If you're into that and not solving them yourself, but I had no idea how to play the game. Like, I didn't read the instructions, and I was just using their solutions. And I'm just like, what is this?
I like it. I like it. Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Well, look, there's plenty there, listeners. We'd be fascinated, of course, to hear what you are playing, what you're working on, and you can, of course, share it if you like, as Joe keeps threatening to do, by posting your platinum picks or names of your games in either the Discord or on the PS4 community, the Push2 Plat Platinum Club. Of course, you can find us on all good podcast providers and YouTube. If you haven't already, come and subscribe to our YouTube, Joe. We're sitting at 97, which is very exciting because when we get to 100, something's going to happen. Look, I don't know what, probably nothing exciting, but something. So, if you want to be number 100, then you know what to do. You have to click that button. You also have to hope that somebody doesn't, click unsubscribe at the same time as you. These are the risks in life we take, I suppose, Joe. So, until next week, I hope you break the 10 plats.
Yeah,
I hope you move up even more, but we shall see. I hope you do wonderfully well, listeners, in your quest as well to build the achievement and platinum score. As I said, reach out and let Joe and I know, or the community. We'd love to hear from you. So, Joe, have a wonderful week, and I look forward to catching up next time.
yes, sir. I just platted Reed too.
Congratulations.